Hello everyone, so this is the latest update to the Delivery Kid game that I've been developing. I've been developing this for about 5 weeks now, off and on, so I just wanted to go over some of the latest updates to the game. First of all, you'll know there's a new throw animation. Whenever you throw a newspaper, he kind of throws his arm out there to the left and kicks his leg out to a little bit, so it just shows him throwing the newspapers out to the side. Also, when he's pedaling, when you start to go faster, he pedals faster, and when you put on the brakes, then he starts to pedal slower, completely stop. You'll also notice the skateboard guy, I actually added a rigid body. There was a glitch before where if he came off of the sidewalk, then he would start to float. So now, since he has a rigid body, he'll fall down to the ground with the gravity. I also created a new house model in Blender. You can see those house models right there. It has a front door and a little garage, and I have like a driveway coming out from the garage. So it looks a lot better than the asset that I got off the asset store. You'll also notice with the breakdancer guy, when you hit him with a newspaper, then he'll start spinning now, and also added a new crash animation. So when the player crashes into a fence or some other object, he'll go flying off his bicycle and land on his back, then pop up and land on his face. You'll also notice with the houses, there's 2 windows now, so when you hit a window with the newspaper, then you can see actual breakage with the window in the house. So I actually have just 2 textures for that window object, and I pulled a image of a broken window and just put that behind the window frame. So I just swapped out that texture, or swap the material whenever that window is broken. You'll also notice that there's new fence models, so that replaces the big stone thing that I got off the asset store. So I think the new white fence looks a lot better. So I wanted to really quickly show off the house model that I created in Blender. So it's pretty simple here. I was able to create a little chimney over here just using a cube, a base cube, and I just extruded upward and created the chimney. And then I did the same with the main body of the house. It's just a cube, and I extruded upward. Then I pulled the 2 edges together to make a roof. And I basically just duplicated this part of the house with the garage. And then I used a Boolean operator. I created a new cube, and then I just cut out the little garage area with the Boolean operator. Then I just added a plane right here, which created the driveway. And you can see over here on the left side, this is the texture map. So I got all of these textures online through CG Textures, and just got a brick texture for the chimney. And you can see that right there, the chimney area right there. You can see where those correlate to the areas on the house, and I like using that project from view method for unwrapping the mesh. That works really well for me. It saves me a lot of time from having to go in and define seams and things like that. And even when I define seams, sometimes it still doesn't unwrap correctly. So the project from view works really well for me. You can see here on the sides of the house, that's where I have just this concrete type texture. I think I just got a concrete texture, and I just made it a little bit orange. One trick that I may do, I may go into GIMP and use the color modifier to slightly modify this concrete texture, and then that way I can have different colored houses. The roof is the same. It's just these 4 different polygons on top of the house make the roof. Then I extruded this inward a little bit for the door, and yeah, that's just 1 polygon right there that covers the door. And then I just have this small little area right here for the driveway, so you can see where the driveway is mapped right there. Here's the window model. So it's fairly simplistic. I just started with a cube, and I just sized it, scaled it inward on the Y axis right there, and you got to remember in Blender, the Z axis is up, so to make things have less depth, you scale in the Y directions, and I just extruded up a little bit and created a sort of a rounded top here on the top, so you can see where this correlates to my image over here. And you can see all the vertices right there. It just covers this image that I downloaded from CG Textures, and I just tried to do the best job I could of getting around the window frame without getting too much of the outside area. Then in GIMP, I just went in and I cropped out all of the little panes of glass, and I can open the image, go to window broken, and I came up with this. So in GIMP, I just created a new layer and under the window graphic, and I just used the Find Select tool to cut out around each of the panes, and then I cleared that area so you could, in the transparent area, you can see the broken glass coming through. So I think it looks really good in Blender, but when you're actually playing the game, it's kind of hard to see the broken glass. So I don't know, there may be a few things that I can do to it to make it stand out a little bit more. I would also like to have it when you throw the newspaper and the newspaper collides with the window, that there's like a particle system with little shards of glass flying all over the place. I think that would be a nice touch. So that's about it for this update with Delivery Kid. I think the game's pretty much almost done now. There's a couple of obstacles that you'll see in there that I probably just need to put some different models in there to replace that. But yeah, I think I'm really happy with what I've developed. I don't know if I'll put this out for sale or anything, but it is on itch.io if anybody wants to play this. gatechgrad.itch.io, and it's right there, the very first game, if you want to give this game a try. So thanks everyone for watching.